Okay, so today we're checking out this Beat Breaker Overdrive pedal from LEKATO. So this is a Blues Breaker style pedal, and if you're not familiar with the Marshall Blues Breaker, it was a pedal that came out in the early 90s. Not a super high gain pedal. I know when we think Marshall, we think kind of higher gain amps, especially when you think about 80s and 90s. But this was really a lower gain pedal intended to kind of be not so much a amp in the box kind of pedal where it kind of takes over the tone of your rig, but really kind of more of almost a boost pedal and somewhat of a transparent overdrive to just kind of add some of that kind of Marshall kind of top end overdrive onto your signal and kind of enhance it in that way. So today, if you were to try to buy a vintage Blues Breaker pedal, I think they run anywhere from $500 to $700 a piece. So they're hard to find, they're rare. There's a lot of different kind of clones of it flying around. But this one came to my attention because it's super low price, and I wanted to see, can we really get some of those Blues Breaker kind of tones out of this? So let's plug it in and see how it sounds. All right, so we've got the pedal hooked up. Pretty simple setup. We've got our power coming in here, guitar input, this is the output. I'm running to an amp modeler right now, which is running a kind of cleanish Fender kind of tone. And the clean tone sounds like this. Just a nice kind of warm Fender-y kind of tone. And so if we look at the pedal, the controls are pretty straightforward. You've got three knobs. You've got a drive knob, you've got a tone knob, and you've got a level. So the drive is the amount of overdrive, the tone is kind of the EQ setting, and the level is your kind of output volume. And again, this is our clean tone, and here's the Beat Breaker with everything about at noon. So you can hear it's adding a little bit of grit, but not tons. Let's go ahead and maybe push the level just a little bit. So adding a little bit of grit, and obviously we're pushing the volume just a little bit to get a little more grit out of the amp too. So let's go ahead and maybe push the tone a little bit and bring the gain down. So a nice kind of cleanish boost there. Let's try a little more gain. So we're going to put the gain about 75%. You can hear when you push the gain, you get a lot more top end. You can even probably pull the tone down a little bit. Let's push the gain all the way and see how much we get. So not tons of gain here. Obviously we push the level more, we'll get a little more gain from the amp. You can hear sounding a little bit of noise in, but that's all coming from my guitar. When I turn my guitar volume down, the noise goes away. It's just this pedal is picking up, because I've got the gain and level so high, it's picking up any noise at all coming out of the guitar signal. You can hear it. The more gain you have, the more trebly it gets. If we bring the gain all the way down, When you're still level there, you can hear the tone gets really dialed back, the treble. You kind of got to crank the tone. Even there, it's really warm. So I find that the tone and the drive, I tend to be moving them in kind of opposite directions. It's like the higher I do the drive, the more I might bring the tone down. So a drive at about halfway, I might push the tone just up a little bit. And that's where we get that kind of nice bluesy. And then if you push the drive up, I might pull the tone back a little bit. But yeah, I think it's doing what I would expect a blues breaker to do. It's keeping it pretty transparent, except it's kind of adding that Marshall sizzle on the top end, especially when you push the gain. Let's go ahead and switch over to a gainier amp setting. So now I'm on kind of a nice warm overdriven sound. And let's go ahead and turn the gain down, and we'll push the tone and the volume a little bit. Again, it's adding that kind of top-end Marshall sparkle to this overdrive sound. So it's kind of a good way to turn maybe a warmer Fendery kind of overdrive if you want to get more aggressive and add kind of a Marshall-y bite to it. So, for example, let's turn this up here. And let's say you were playing kind of, again, that nice rhythm. And then you wanted to add in kind of a lead sizzle. Maybe even bring the tone back a little bit. Or if you just wanted to use it as maybe, again, you're just trying to push the tone into that kind of Marshall-y kind of range. So you can hear it's pushing the level, so it's pushing the gain a little more, but it's adding that top end to it. And what you're seeing here is kind of a reason that a lot of players like to use this stacked on top of other overdrives. So you might hear about people stacking this with a tube screamer or maybe even with a Klon style pedal, because it's really, I think of it almost more as a boost than an overdrive pedal. There's some gain available here if you really push it. Like if I put it back to the clean tone and I really push the gain up, I mean, there's some gain there, but it's about the same as you would get, say, from an RC booster or something like that. So it's not tons of gain. So I think this pedal is better in this kind of, I don't know, about 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock kind of range. And it works better almost as a little bit of grit, but more of a boost. You're pushing your amp. You're giving a little more top-end sizzle. It's really just adding a little bit of extra sparkle to your amp rather than using it as a pure overdrive. And the touch responsiveness on this pedal is pretty good. I roll the guitar volume down. It does clean up. So I'm pretty impressed. I think with the price point for this, if you're looking to build out a pedal board and you just want to have kind of a blues breaker kind of thing to do some bluesy tones every once in a while, maybe you've got a set where you're playing one John Mayer song or something like that, I think this could work pretty well. But again, it's not a kind of amp in the box kind of tone. It's just going to enhance how your amp already sounds, but it's going to add a little bit of that kind of Marshall sizzle to the top end. It's going to add a little bit of grit, and I think it's pretty expressive. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. For the price point, I think it's definitely worth a look. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.